All right, let's talk about something that you use hundreds of times a day, probably without even realizing it. We're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden engine of our digital world, the API. This is the secret language that lets all of your favorite apps actually work.
I mean, seriously, have you ever stopped to wonder how your phone knows the forecast for today? It's not some kind of magic. It's an API doing its job in the background, connecting your app to a gigantic weather database out there on the internet. And that exact same idea, well, it powers almost everything you do online.
So what even is an API? Well, the fancy term is Application Programming Interface. Yeah, sounds a little intimidating, right? But let's just cut through all the jargon. At its heart, an API is just a set of rules that allows different programs to talk to each other. And honestly, the best way to get it is to think of a waiter.
Okay, let's really dive into this whole restaurant analogy, because it nails how this all works. Picture this. You're sitting at a table, you're hungry, and you know what you want from the menu. You don't just get up and storm into the kitchen to make it yourself, do you? Of course not.
So here's how it plays out. You are the app. You've decided you want the tomato soup. That's your request. The waiter, that's our API, takes your very specific order, carries it back to the kitchen, which is the server, the place that has all the ingredients and data, and the kitchen starts cooking. Then, once the food is ready, who brings it back to you? The waiter. The API returns with exactly what you asked for.
At the end of the day, that's the key. The API is the messenger. It's the go-between. It handles all that communication so that you, the app, don't have to know anything about the crazy, complex stuff happening back in the kitchen. You just ask for something and you get it. Simple, clean, and efficient.
So now that we have that idea down, let's look at how these unsung digital heroes are working all around you every single day. Because I promise, once you start looking for them, you'll see APIs absolutely everywhere.
You know when you sign up for a new service and just click Login with Google? Yep, that's an API handling your identity securely. Or when you're on a travel site and it magically pulls in flights from 20 different airlines all at once. That's a whole bunch of APIs working together in real time. That seamless experience of seeing everything in one place, all thanks to APIs.
And this is why they are so incredibly important. For developers, it means they don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. They can just plug into existing services. APIs connect different tools, even tools from competing companies, and let them cooperate to create this amazing, interconnected digital world we all depend on.
But here's the thing, APIs haven't always been this smooth and flexible. Just like any technology, they've had to evolve. And their story is really a shift away from super rigid, strict rules toward the kind of flexible digital conversations our apps have today. Way back in the late 90s, we had something called SOAP. It was incredibly standardized, super secure, but also a real headache to work with. Then, in 2000, REST came along and completely changed the game. It was way simpler, it used the same ideas that power the web, and it quickly became the new standard. Then, fast forward to 2012, and Facebook creates GraphQL to solve a very modern problem, efficiency, especially for mobile apps.
And this is where it gets really clever. GraphQL was basically born to solve a super annoying problem with REST called overfetching. Imagine with a REST API, you ask for someone's name, but the server sends you their name, address, email, their dog's name, just a huge block of data you don't need. It's a waste. GraphQL flips that script. The app says, hey, just give me the name and only the name. It's incredibly precise.
So if we look at the scorecard today, REST is still the undisputed heavyweight champ. Over 70% of developers use it. Its simplicity is just too good, and it's not going anywhere. But look at GraphQL. It's carved out a solid 15% of the market. That shows you just how valuable it's become for apps that have really complex data needs, like the ones on your phone.
Now, this whole evolution, this isn't just some technical footnote for programmers. This is big, big business. APIs have moved out of the server room and into the boardroom. They're a core part of strategy, turning simple digital connections into actual revenue. And we're not just talking about public APIs that anybody can use. A massive part of this new economy is built on partner APIs, which are shared between specific businesses. In fact, a 2022 report found that pretty much half of all developers are using them. Strategic digital partnerships are just how business gets done now.
So just how much business are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at eBay. Get ready for this. A staggering 60% of eBay's total revenue flows through its APIs. We're talking billions and billions of dollars, all from partners and third-party developers building on top of their platform.
And the scale can be absolutely mind-boggling.
Over in the world of finance, new open banking laws have forced banks to open up, and the result is explosive. Take a bank like Nordea. They now process 75 million API calls every single month. This has unleashed a tidal wave of new fintech apps and services.
So what does this all mean for a company? Well, it can unlock brand new ways to make money, like we saw with eBay. It can help build a whole ecosystem of partners, like BMW letting people develop apps for its cars. It can expand your reach, the way Airbnb shows up on tons of different booking sites. Or sometimes it's just about playing by the new rules, like with open banking.
Which brings us, of course, to the future. APIs are already deeply woven into our tech and our economy. So the million-dollar question is, where are these digital connections going to take us next?
Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is artificial intelligence. You see, APIs are making AI accessible to everyone. A developer today doesn't need to be a PhD in machine learning to build something smart. They can just use an API to tap into a powerful AI model from a company like OpenAI, and suddenly their app can understand language, or recognize images, or predict trends.
You know, it really all boils down to that famous saying we've all heard: data is the new oil. And if that's true, then you have to think of APIs as the pipelines. They're the critical infrastructure that actually moves that oil around, refines it, and turns it into the valuable services that run our lives.
So from a simple weather update to powering the entire global economy, all the way to unleashing the AI revolution, APIs have become the invisible, absolutely essential fabric connecting our entire world. Which really just leaves you with one final question to think about. What things